From today, laughter is forbidden. Any man, woman, or child caught laughing will be punished publicly.
In a quiet land called Brighton Kingdom, where the sun once rose on smiling faces and joyful hearts, there lived a king who hated laughter. Not just disliked it, he feared it. His name was King Marcus. People said his heart had turned to stone the day his younger brother died during a festival. The brother had been laughing so hard until he suddenly collapsed and never woke again. From that day, something inside King Marcus broke, and instead of mourning like a man, he made a decision like a ruler, a dangerous one. He stood before the entire kingdom in the market square and declared in a cold, unforgiving voice, From today,
laughter is forbidden. Any man, woman, or child caught laughing will be punished publicly.
Child caught laughing will be punished publicly. At first, the people thought he was joking, but King Marcus did not smile, and soon they understood. Days passed, and the kingdom changed. The sound of laughter disappeared like a song cut short. Children who once ran freely now covered their mouths when they giggled. Mothers became watchful, fathers became quiet, and even during weddings, people clapped without joy. Everything became controlled, careful, heavy. One afternoon, a young man let out a small laugh while talking to his friend. Just a tiny sound, but it was enough. The guards dragged him to the market square, and before everyone's eyes, he was whipped. The message was clear. Laughter was now a crime. But inside the palace, there was one person who had not forgotten what joy felt like. The queen. Her name was Queen Helena. She was gentle, kind, and full of warmth, the exact opposite of the king. At night, when the palace was quiet, she would sneak into the servants' quarters and sit with the children. She told them stories, funny stories, stories about clever tortoises, foolish kings, and dancing goats. Sometimes the children forgot themselves. They laughed, softly at first, then a little louder, and Queen Helena would quickly place her finger on her lips and whisper, "Careful, laughter is dangerous now." But even as she said it, her eyes held sadness, because deep down she knew a kingdom without laughter was already dying. Then came the day of the annual festival, a day that used to be filled with music, dancing, and endless joy. But this time it was different. There were no drums, no singing, no excitement. Just people gathered, standing quietly like shadows. Even the performers moved without energy, like joy had been buried somewhere no one could reach. King Marcus sat on his throne watching the crowd, satisfied. To him, silence meant control, and control meant power. Everything was going exactly how he wanted, until it happened. A small boy stood near the front of the crowd. His name was Daniel. He was no more than 6 years old, too young to fully understand fear, too innocent to remember what the world used to be. As the king stood up to speak, his royal robe got caught on the edge of the throne, and in one sudden, unexpected moment, the great King Marcus stumbled forward and fell hard, flat on the ground. His crown rolled away, dust covered his face. For a moment, everything stood still. The entire kingdom held its breath. Then, suddenly, a loud, uncontrollable laugh burst into the air. It was Daniel, the little boy. He pointed at the king, laughing without fear. The king fell. He fell like a goat. Silence crashed back down like thunder. The laughter stopped instantly. Mothers covered their mouths. Men looked away. The guards stepped forward. Queen Helena froze. King Marcus slowly stood up, his face dark with anger. His pride shattered in front of everyone. He pointed at the boy. "Seize him." The guards grabbed the boy. This time, the boy did not laugh. He looked confused, scared, like he didn't understand what he had done wrong. As they began to drag him away, something unexpected happened. A man in the crowd tried to hold back a smile, but his lips betrayed him. A small sound escaped. Heh! Someone beside him let out a muffled laugh. Another person turned away, shaking slightly. Then another and another. Like something breaking loose, like a dam finally giving way. Laughter began to spread. Slowly at first, then faster, then louder, until suddenly the entire crowd exploded into laughter. People bent over, holding their stomachs. Some fell to the ground. Some laughed until tears rolled down their faces. Even the guards dropped their whips and laughed. King Marcus stood in the middle of it all, frozen, surrounded by laughter, the very thing he had tried to destroy. He shouted, "Stop!" But no one stopped, because for the first time in a long time, the people felt free. Then Queen Helena stepped forward, tears in her eyes, but there was a smile on her face. "Listen to them," she said softly. The king looked around, really looked at his people, alive again, human again. And suddenly, memories flooded back. His brother, that day, the laughter, the joy, and the loss. He whispered almost to himself, "Was I punishing them for something that was never wrong?" The laughter continued, endless, uncontrollable, and for the first time, the king realized something terrifying. He could not stop it. He could not punish all of them. He could not silence joy forever. Slowly, his shoulders dropped, his anger faded, and his voice broke as he asked, "How many of you can I punish?" No one answered. They were still laughing, and in that moment, the king understood. Power had limits, but joy did not. He lowered his staff, sat down quietly on the ground, and for the first time in years, he did not try to control the moment. He simply watched it. That day, something changed in Brighton Kingdom. Not through war, not through rebellion, but through laughter. The law was never spoken of again. Children ran freely once more. Music returned. Life returned. And the king, he began to change, slowly, quietly. One evening, during a gathering, someone told a joke. The people laughed. The king tried to resist. His lips trembled, his face tightened. But then, a small sound escaped him. A laugh, soft, uncertain, but real. And just like that, the king who once punished laughter finally became part of it.